In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the valve cover on this BMW 325xi. Let's get into it. I'm going to pull this cover off. There's little wing nuts on the side. Grab the cover. And it just slides out. You can see the filter. Pull the filter out as well. And pop this cover off. I'm just going to use a pick. Just get underneath here. Slide that off. You can pull these wires out. We're going to loosen these 4 screws. Use a T30 socket. Loosen those up. They are caged. They're going to stay with this panel. You can grab the panel and just slide it out. Your vehicle may have a cover over here. You're going to take the cap off. And then right where these studs are, there's going to be some nuts holding it on. You pop the covers off those nuts, take those 2 nuts off. They should be 10mm socket to do that. And you can put the cap back on. Using a 10mm socket, there's 3 10mm bolts. Take those out. Grab this pump. There's a connector on the bottom. You would disconnect the connector. Just push on the 2 tabs. Slide that off. We can take this hose off right here. Just using a straight blade screwdriver. Loosen up the clamp. Grab the hose, twist it off, and just slide this pump out of the way. Before we pull the coils out, I am just going to label them so they go back where they came out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Using a 10mm socket, take these bolts out. On the front one and the back one, there is a ground strap. Take those out. Just grab the coil. Disconnect the connector, slide it out, then we'll do the same with the other ones. Using a 8mm socket, take the nut off for the little ground strap, and then pull the ground strap off. Do the same on the other one. There's a ground right here. Use the 8mm socket. Take that nut off and slide that ground off. Now this wiring harness, there's a plastic cover right here. Just going to use a pick. Just going to get under where it's latched on. Just pop that off. You can slide this out of the way. And the wires that go to the O2 sensors, just want to pull those up and out of the way. There's a little clip here. Just slide those out. Just like that. And those are out of the way. Pop this breather tube out. You just squeeze it. And you should be able to slide it off. Be careful, it is plastic, just like that, that's good. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to take all the studs out in the middle. Pull those out. Using the same 10mm socket, take all the bolts on the perimeter of the valve cover. Take those out. Pull those all out, then you can grab the valve cover and gently pull it up. And it slides right out. And just grab the gasket if it's still attached to the head and just pull it off. There's going to be areas where there's some RTV in the corners. And slide that out of the way. And you just want to clean up some of that RTV with a razor or even a scraper. Just be careful, don't let it fall in the engine. Scrape that out of the way. Do that on all the corners. Then you can use some brake parts cleaner and a rag and just wipe down the whole surface area where you're going to have the gasket be touching the head. I'm going to take these clips off and transfer those over to the new valve cover. Just squeeze them, pull them up. And then all the grommets, you want to pull those up. We're going to separate the washers from the grommet. We have new grommets, and we'll just use the washers, so take all of those off. Even the ones in the middle here, take those off. All right, double check the gasket, make sure that's all in place. That looks good. All right, that's good. Before we put it on, we want to put a little bit of RTV in the corners. I'm just going to put a little where the head meets the front cover. Now carefully take the cover, make sure the gasket does not fall out. Just slide it in place, make sure you don't pinch any wires in the back. Make sure those are all out of the way. And push that on. That's good. We have new grommets. We're going to put the grommet on, the washer, and then the bolt. Get that started. And do the same with the other ones. If it's easier, you can put the washer through the bolt first and the grommet, and then get that started. And in the center, put the studs in. These 4 in the middle. Then working from the center outward, we're going to torque these to 8 foot-pounds. And just work your way outward. And just go diagonal. There you go, those are all torqued. You can go around again and double check if you want. Take these clips, we're gonna slide these in place. Push those down. And line up the wiring harnesses. Those wires are all in place. Now, take the coil wires, get these lined up. Make sure you line these up the correct way. And secure these down. This ground wire is going to go right here. Put that on. And just snug that down. And the ground straps, take those, get those started. Put the nut on. Tighten those down. So the two ends. Snug that down. And if you took this clip off, you want to put that on. Go through the wires right here. Get that lined up. And we'll clip that on. I'll put the coils in. I'm going to put them in the same location that I took them out. And plug them in. And take the bolts, get the bolts started. On the two ends, make sure the bolt goes through the ground strap. And just go back and just snug these down by hand. Good. Now put this pipe in, make sure that's secured down. If you have the cover here, you want to put that on now, and then we can put the cap on. Lock that down. Take the air pump, I'm going to connect the connector underneath. Lock that down. Then the hose. Slide the hose on. Tighten down the clamp. Just snug that down, make sure that's tight, which it is. And take the bolts, get those started, and tighten those down. Take this panel, this is going to slide in place. Just make sure the weather strip looks like it's lined up right. That's good. Get these all started first before we tighten them down. cabin filter, line that up. And this cover, slide that in place. Push it in and get the wing nuts lined up and lock those down. Slide the wires in this retainer. Take this cover, line this up, and lock it in place.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.